Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. And I wanted to talk about something that's super duper important that I think when we first start out as filmmakers, a lot of people just don't take the time to really dive into. And before we do all that, if you're from TikTok, welcome back. As you know, I'm making these videos as a part of our journey as we create this short film, Epoch, as well as there will be some other stuff if you've already donated to the Kickstarter, but this is just something a little extra on top that you can look forward to on a relatively consistent basis, and that's really me giving filmmaking tips in order to not only improve you guys' work, but also maybe inspire some other people, because these are the videos that kind of help me get into what I'm doing today. So one of the things I want to talk about specifically is the power and the beauty of sound design, and music. While cinematography and visual effects do affect the way that an image looks and how you perceive that image, what also can actually enhance the way an image is perceived is sound and music. These are very common examples you see in films. For example, when you watch anything like The Avatar, for example, The Way of the Water, or whatever the movie may be, you see that even though there's a lot of CGI and the CGI looks beautiful, it's also matched with a lovely soundtrack and also lovely sound effects. The CGI can do a lot of the work in terms of what you see, but what you hear enhances your experience, much like what you hear can enhance your experience in real life. Music can also help people interpret a scene. It determines how you will kind of emotionally interpret the scene. You can have a scene of someone sitting in the bathroom all alone, all sad, but in silence, you don't really know what they're really feeling because it's open to interpretation. It's pure silence. People may perceive things differently, but music helps guide you emotionally with the scene so that way you can interpret the scene the way it was meant to be interpreted, so that way you can understand the film the way it was meant to be understood without using dialogue, and also sometimes without even showing visually what's on screen. The music itself can carry a scene just off of its strength alone. Now, sound design is also extremely important. It helps enhance the textures of a scene. It helps makes the scene a little more immersive. You can hear the movement of someone sitting on the couch, someone lighting up a cigarette, someone taking deep breaths, someone who's scared and nervous. You can hear their heart beating. Those small sound designs can help make your film look more visually appealing by pulling someone in using your auditory senses, which is why sound and music is one of the most, if not the most important thing you can ever focus on in your film. Also, the beauty of like music and sound effects as well that help enhance the scene is that it helps not only emotionally guide you, but it can put emphasis on certain things in a scene. Once again, if I have a character who's running for his life, nervous in the woods, you can hear his heart pounding. When you've seen that in a movie, which we've all seen at least 1 or 2 movies where the music or the sound effects sound like there's a heart pounding, what can we infer from the scene? The heart pounding implies that they are nervous, they're terrified, and they're trying to keep it all together, even though their heart is pounding out of their chest. That's what makes sound design really important and also really cool when you think about it. You can literally shape an entire scene with no dialogue, strictly off of sound design and music, and still have an incredible film. Ultimately, sound design and music don't just complement what you're seeing on the screen, it actually can entirely reshape it. If you shoot something that looks like ass, people will think you did that intentionally. But if you have really good sound design and good music and it's super intentional, and then the visuals of the film looks like garbage, people will actually think you shot the film garbage on purpose. People will assume, maybe the fact that the film looks like ass is actually a part of the story, because film can do that. Film is very subjective. The visual of the film is very subjective. You're guiding people's experience through sound design and music. So now that we've kind of gotten all of that out of the way, let's kind of just transition into 2 primary examples, because I want to keep this video relatively short. I don't want it to be too long, over 10 minutes or anything like that. So this particular shot is from a previous short film that I previously made a couple years ago. Now, if you want to hear the shot, you're going to hear it right here. Now that you've heard that shot, what can you hear about this scene? You know what's going on in the scene, no dialogue. You can just hear the body movement, the movement of the leather couch, and also just even him lighting that cigarette. And then what complements it and adds to the experience if you're watching is, even though he's in relatively dark scenario in terms of he's in a silhouette, kind of, sort of, you can still make out just enough of his features to know that when he hears a knock at the door, it's something he's not looking forward to, something that he finds annoying. And you can hear all that in the suddenness of the knock, and also just how the couch feels extra comfy. You can feel every movement in the couch, putting emphasis on his comfort. So that's just a very simple, straightforward way of using sound design. Now for this next shot, I'm going to play without music. And now, once again, I'm going to play it, but then with music. Now, what this shot tells you without music is, yes, he's just a person sitting in the bathroom, kind of just, smoking his blunt or whatever like that. And in this case, I didn't add any sound design because I wanted you to focus strictly on the music, and the music and the silence. So in this case, he's sitting in the bathroom looking for a private moment, just to, smoke his blunt, get a little weed. You can tell he had a stressful day based on the facial expression and his body language. But ultimately, he's just looking for, a little getaway, trying to go in the bathroom, light up a little spliff, something like that. But in reality, the music then tells you something else. He's in that bathroom, but then it kind of makes you feel like there's kind of a bit of contemplation, a little bit of self-doubt, a little bit of sadness. It kind of redirects the mood, versus when it's silent, it's open to your interpretation on what you think the scene might be trying to tell you. So this is really a straightforward, simple video on how sound design and music is extremely powerful. In the future, I'll probably do a video about each of them individually and how you can do small things to enhance the sound design in your film, how to bend and morph sounds to get the sounds that you need in order to create a scene, as well as how to go through the process of picking the right music, because music also helps tell the story. So I appreciate y'all, love y'all, and once again, this is just one of those videos where I'm adding it to the collection of videos on YouTube because, as you know, we're making a short film and we want to just make some content for y'all so that way you can see the things that we used in the short film. So everything you see on this channel are aspects of things that we're using on the short film. So think of it as like a, not BTS per se, but we are kind of giving you a pull back of the curtains and you can kind of see what's going on and how the butter's made. So appreciate y'all, love y'all. If you want to support the project, you're more than welcome to go to Kickstarter, and please be sure to like, share, of course, subscribe, do all that stuff, leave a comment, bookmark, let me know your experiences, and I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.